I don't really get I feel like what's happening right now, and I hate to like keep bringing up the topic of this, is I feel like people are like putting their line in the sand instead of just like staying out of the shit, where it's like, if you're not going to listen to Gunna, like just don't listen to Gunna, but don't try and flip it to make it seem like you're supporting him more by saying the Thug album's whack or whatever. I'm just like, because it's not whack, but it's weird. The internet echo chamber of these two albums right now is just very strange to me, and I just wanted to touch on that today.
No, I mean, I think people just want to be down and a part of the conversation.
Mm.
I have seen a lot of people like, oh, this is whack, this is good. I've been having the conversation. I've been on Team Thug in my group chats, and people have been on Team Gunna, and it's just like,
what does that team mean? Like, these are on.
Honestly, it's just jokes for me.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, Travonne touched on it early on. It's like it's a moral standing type thing.
But even if it, some people, I understand your moral standings. I understand Trey's moral standings. I feel like there's people that don't have that at all, and I think that
they're civilians.
Yeah, and I think they just want to be like, oh, well, we believe this strange conversation that Thug said, so I'm automatically gonna Thug's whack now, and I'm not gonna go. I'm just like, he hasn't actually said anything. Like, he just put the album out. Like,
that's the internet, though. When you think about anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you come into a situation of like Jordan, LeBron or etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Eric, Pusha, Jim Jones. Like, it just depends. If your mind is already made up, bruh, you're gonna be moving in that action of what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? In this situation, there's people that's like, I don't snitch or I don't support blah, blah, blah. And then there's people that's like, I just love Gunna. Now, I think Gunna always going to make the better music. You feel me? Like, he just knows his pocket. I'm not listening to Thug for better music. I think Thug makes shit that just like is fun, funny, energetic, etc. This album was just something to kind of like, whether pay for lawyer fees, whether to drown out Buddy's album sales. I don't know, because again, I still see YSL posting this. You know what I mean? Supporting dude's album. So we don't really know what's going on. We're going off of speculation and shit like that. But at the end of the day, like, listen to who you want to listen to. I know for sure. I've seen it. I've heard the numbers show what it is that you know what I mean? That dude's album is better than this album. But Thug even said, like, one of them verses, like a couple of them songs are like 6 years old. They just trying to put something out. Like I said, I'm sure it's just to help the financial keep the money flowing. And we're gonna probably get more projects that aren't complete. And I'm not I'm not going to hold it to a point of like, oh, the expectations of a Boosie or Tupac to succeed or Gucci Mane.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at that and I saw what it was. And I think a lot of people were trying to be like, no, I'm like, bro, it's literally, why are y'all not happy that this man is putting out music? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, you guys have been saying free him for a whole year. He puts out music and it's automatically, you're drawing a line in the sand where it's just like, well, I'm Team Gunna or another weird thing is like, oh, it just sounds like a bunch of verses they put beats under. I'm like, well, yeah, you think he's got a fucking microphone in the prison?
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of weird conversation around the Thug album that's like stupid. Like, I do believe, I feel like the first verse of Business is Business, it sounds like he recorded that through the phone. Like, I think his parts where he's like pronouncing his P's, you can kind of hear the like crackle, the pop of it. But I again, I don't think someone going through a court case and doing what they're doing right now is going to put out some new projects and be like, fuck Gunna.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like, no, I'm going through a trial right now. That's not even the energy I'm going to be on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, but that's what they're playing off of.
Right.
When Thug puts this project out right after Gunna, and like that's the energy they want to bring to it. So it's all entertainment. That's why I said, like, in my group chats, I'm jokingly talking about it and having that conversation. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy, like you said, to have new music out from both Gunna and Thug. Even if I'm not listening to the Gunna project, I'm happy that he's putting new music out and people are enjoying it.
Because best case scenario here, Josh, is Thug gets a Billboard charting single out of this.
Yeah.
That keeps his name out there. Because his name has been relatively silent on the charts for the past year. Best case scenario for 300 in Atlantic and YSL is that Thug and Gunna are both in the top 10. Regardless of what's going on with them, personally, we don't know because they haven't said anything. And I doubt that Gunna said a lot, but, Thug hasn't said anything. Like, best case scenario for them is that people are still talking about these two because that keeps their name in the public conversation. And I think that, like, strangely enough, YSL is like the biggest conversation in rap right now. Because people want to know.
I mean, it's funny. That's how lame rap is at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like we ain't had a #1 album. the crew that's locked up and going through RICO cases is the hottest crew at the moment.
Exactly.
It's just the most talked about, at least.
Yeah.
My thing is it even a crew? Isn't even a crew anymore?
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, to a certain degree.
It's a crew until they say it's not a crew. You know what I'm saying? It's a crew. It's a label, rather. I'm sorry, until they say it's not a label anymore. I think that like the big conversation is, I think people are waiting to see what Thug says. I think that like
Thug has. That's my thing. That the waiting to see what Thug says. He said a lot already.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. I think that the line is firmly in the sand with who's on the album, who's not on the album. You see people that have, you could say, oh, the people that played out aren't on the album. So like that's where it is. B Slime's still there. Lil Gotit is still there. Those are really the two vocal people outside of it that have been YSL. I think also I feel really bad for Trench, who got signed right before all this shit happened. He's still flying the flag, but he's not on the album. But like, I feel bad for the kid because I thought he had a little bit of potential. But those are really the only 3 or 4 people that are I would say are probably still in his good graces right now, as well as like Future and all that stuff. But I think the album is solid. Like I think it's good. I'm really just happy. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Thug. Like I'm just happy that I can hear music from him and snippets that I've heard a year ago before he got locked up. And I'm happy that he's making music. I'm always gonna side with that guy because he's my favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? So like I can't take a side here, but I do know that in the first weekend I've been listening to that shit more than the Gunna project, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think to everyone's point earlier, it's not even a side. We don't even have to take sides.
Yeah,
but I think they do. As rappers and entertainers or whatever they want to be, whatever they are, they have to take sides, and I think they very well have taken their sides. I like the Thug album more just because the Gunna album to me is just like a lot of
sad.
It's sad. It's like apologizing, copping please. Like I don't want to listen to that. I want to hear some more upbeat shit. And then it's hard for me to listen to someone talk about like putting money in your head and all that shit after just like what he went through. I think that's the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
It's like, cause even hearing like older tracks, like I can't listen to them because I'm like, you're just not about what you rap about.
I do think it's crazy on the Thug album. I was like, it's a lot more violent than I expected it to be with a man that's in prison right now. I'm like, yo, it's actually still like violent. He's still talking about a lot of shit. Like they try and like tone it down a bit, but they ain't cutting out no type of references and shit that you can still kind of hear in some of the verses. Like Jonesboro, that's really great song toward the end, which I think again, like you look for, you say he's not lyrical, you say all that shit, that's right there. There's proof right there. And shout out to Metro for sequencing this album in a way that kind of purports and shows off his strengths. Like you got the weird rapping, you got the actual lyrical stuff, and you got the fact that this guy can actually write a song too. Like the song with Drake toward the middle of the album is fucking a banger. Like that best case scenario, that's the song that comes out.
Bro, Parade on Cleveland itself.
Yeah, that's a great intro.
Again, like, bro, I'm just like, all right, bro. He talking about getting his lick back and ain't gonna be sexy. Like, he talking that hurt music, bro. Like, but it's needed for the summer. You feel me? When you on your villain shit. But I don't know. I'm with it, man. I'm definitely with it. Like I said, I enjoy the project. I say I like it. Most people were like, damn, why how you like it? And I'm like, bro,
it's weird.
I like it don't mean it has to be the hardest shit ever. You feel me? Like it's serviceable. Like nowadays, nigga, all I'm listening to is jazz anyway. Yeah. So fuck we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like this is just something, just a part of the conversation, so I'm not out the mix.
Yeah.
I hit play real quick and then I get right back to the jazz, nigga. Yeah. Like straight up.
Jazz and Pilates. I wanna get right to, we mentioned it a little bit earlier.
That'd be a dope ass party.
Jazz and Pilates, low key, right?
Oh God.